Men have better options out there than women.
I'm not saying that.
They do, though.
They do. Everybody in here has a college degree.
We don't care about your goddamn degree.
No, single women that are of great caliber. They can cook. They're beautiful.
Can you ask her who's deciding that y'all they're the great women?
Thank you.
That's why I said how.
Thank you.
But
where's y'all scale for like who are the great women at? Where's the list?
Women have a lack of understanding.
Because y'all are not asking men, right?
No, I'm for real.
I don't need to ask a
But
man.
Okay, wait, no.
That's the, no, I like that.
Woman I am.
Like, you guys don't even try to appeal to men's preferences.
Wait,
so why would you even?
So what is a male's preference?
Who is the catch and who's the runner and who is the hunter? What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. It's
You need to be a hunter.
in general in life. Like anything that's worth having is gonna take some work. Like
But I
in the
think
day, the top men, you're gonna do some competing for them.
There are a lot of men who are losers and they're not leaders. So it's hard for us women who are able bodies to date you.
So like a lot of times when we see this sort of commentary again and again, and there's something that he said specifically that I think was critical. You guys are the judges. You're rating yourselves. You say that these are good women. How many times have you heard a woman talk about me and my friends, and I know they're tens, they're beautiful, they're successful? You always rate yourselves to the highest echelon, the highest caliber. And men are rated by women, right? If we're being fair, we're being what actual how this works. The dating market, your value is determined, right? Dating wise, specifically dating wise, is determined by the opposite party that's interested, by the consumer. That denotes the value. When we hear comments like this or videos like this, we're always hearing it from women that we generally don't find to be tens. The way they're rating themselves is the way they feel that it's fine for them. Like in the very beginning, when she said everyone here has degrees. Yeah, that's great, but that's in terms of dating, that's not something that moves the needle for men at all. And before we continue, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share the video. Don't forget to turn on the post notifications so you don't miss updates. And again, we'll just we'll just determine call this the Sicky series because I'm still fighting it through. Long days at work don't make it any easier, but the content train must continue. I'll find another time to rest when the opportunity presents itself. But let's run this back and then we'll dissect it.
Unfortunately, men have better options out there than women.
All right, right there. Some men have better options. On a whole, no. Right? On a whole, no. We can look at dating apps, and we can see the data from there, and it shows most men are not getting the attention that they want. Right? Their like ratio compared to women is abysmal. So the small amount of men that meet a woman's criteria, and if he meets one woman's criteria, he probably meets several others. They have the options. If they've done that work to become the high status, the high echelon men, yeah, they've got the options. So if you're referring to those men that you want, yes, they do. They have better options than women in general, because even as you get more successful, you say your degrees or you make more money, that just shrinks your pool. That's true.
Saying that.
They do, though.
They do. Everybody in here has a college degree.
Yeah, everyone here has a college degree. Generally speaking, especially men who have become successful in life, they don't find her to be attractive. And the difference is very simple. For men, there are ways for them to increase their attraction, tangible ways for them to increase their attraction. They can make more money, right? They can be more charming. They can be funny. These are things that they can go out and actually physically do to increase their value. Even getting degrees may be another thing that increases a man's value in a woman's eyes. Women don't have that same option. You don't, I'm going to now get a degree and become more attractive to men. That's unfortunately not how we work. And you can say it's unfair, and that's fine, right? You can shame it. You can use whatever language you want with it. It doesn't change. It doesn't move the needle. Men are how they are and how they've been for quite a while. So you getting a degree, you becoming more and more successful for the men that you want, it doesn't do anything for them.
We don't care about your goddamn degree.
No, single women
Right.
that are of great caliber. They can cook. They're beautiful.
Can you ask her who's deciding that y'all they're the great women?
Thank you.
And this is the crux of why I chose this video, to highlight that point, that whenever the conversation begins and women are in this mix and they're saying that I have friends or I know women that are great, and they list the reasons why they're great. These are not men's reasons. Men are the ones going to say these women are great. Women are the ones that say these men are great. They set the standard for the other party. You can't set your own standard and then expect men to meet that. You're not, excuse me, you're not Congress who gets to say, hey, you want to raise? You want to raise? You want to raise? Yeah, let's vote in a raise for everyone in Congress. It doesn't work like that. If you want to be important to a man, you're going to have to understand a man first. You're going to have to understand what moves him, what motivates him, what's important to him, and then nail those features down. Otherwise, it doesn't. Everything you're doing makes you more attractive to a woman. That's the real truth of it. You're a more attractive mate to a woman because you have a degree, you have a high paying, you have high emotional EQ, right? You can cook, like whatever those things are. It comes down to not really understanding men. You don't understand men, and then you're met with this confusion when they tell you they disagree. And sometimes, and again, the problem is they're not telling you, but their actions are showing you. The attention you get from them is fleeting. You're not getting the ring or the name on the deed or the insurance, or the cars. You're not getting to that level, but you're able to hold their attention. You're able to, hey, he's going to come over. I spent some time with him, but he eventually will leave. So if the goal is to find that high tier, high caliber men that women have said is high tier and high caliber, you have to understand how he rates, what's important to him. You don't just get to say, these things are important to me, therefore you're important. The old term I used to hear thrown around is men don't value value. What it comes down to is you are the one administering the test and then grading the test, and you want that test taker to already believe everything you've got to say, your way of thinking, your belief system, but you've never given him the lesson. You never sat down and said, these are the things. No, you just have this expectation because it's important to you, it's important to him. We're finally getting to a point in historically with society where women are saying there is a disconnect happening, and they see it by the lack of outcomes, by the lack of desired outcomes, where you have women on a podcast like this believing that they're of a certain caliber, when already most men are going to say there's a weight standard. That's the truth. I get the confusion. When you do get attention, you do get play from men, and you think that somehow it means all men, or more specifically, the type of men that you want. This is where we have to start stratifying what we're seeing. If you want the attention of that type of man, then you need to be around those men. If you get that attention, you get that play, then yeah, that kind of denotes that's where you should be. But when you get low tier attention, and there's low tier attention, you get low tier attention, you have to take all that data and cap it to low tier men. You have the guys that want to sleep on your couch, that want to borrow your Ultima, that want to be in your Cash App, that have eight baby mamas. Those are low tier men. Don't take the data that you've learned from low tier men and then put it on high tier men, high caliber men, high value men, and then think you're supposed to be behaving the way I've always known men to behave. You haven't. If you want the better outcome, the best outcome with men, you have to understand them. That's really what it comes down to. You don't really understand them, and this causes this disconnect. You think your value is here, and they should automatically believe it, but that's not how it works.